The Level 1 enrichment is classroom-based enrichment. It's meant to be flexible in nature. All children have the opportunity to receive enrichment for each unit of math. The children in the class are first given a pre-screening for their math enrichment, and what that means is that they take the 3 hardest questions from the pre-test and deliver that to all children. Based on that performance, and that's up to the teacher's discretion, we decided as a group that it didn't have to be a perfect 3 out of 3, but if there were maybe 2 out of 3 right and the child was on the right track, that would be okay too. So we're really depending on the classroom teacher's expertise in terms of deciding who goes on from the pre-screening of just the 3 hardest questions on the pretest to taking the full pretest. The reason we didn't give the entire pretest to every child was we felt like that was too much grading and too much work for the classroom teacher. So based on the pre-screening, a small number of children in each classroom will then take the pre-test for the math enrichment for that unit. Children need to earn 85% mastery to receive enrichment for a unit. So you'll have a fairly small group, maybe 1, 2, to up to 5 children who are receiving math enrichment for any given unit. To make things easier for the classroom teacher, we happen to use the Everyday Math series, and we found that if we collated all the enrichment into one binder, it made it easier, it made it more usable for the teachers since they were all being asked to do this on a daily basis. It was provided before, but it was embedded in the regular Everyday Math. And so just to ease stress on the classroom teacher and make it more manageable, we provided that as a support. Once children are identified for the enrichment for a unit, it becomes fairly easy to deliver that enrichment. All children sit through the regular classroom mini lesson. At that point, when the children are dismissed to go back and do the practice for the lesson, the teacher selects the 3 hardest problems in that page. We call it Show Me 3. If that child is able to do the 3 hardest problems on the page, there's no reason for them to go on and on practicing what they already know. They are then able to engage in their enrichment work. That looks different in each classroom that you'll visit. Some teachers have a binder set up with the kids. Other teachers give out a packet. Other teachers have a crate where children actually go and pull the enrichment for that lesson. You'll also notice if you walk through our hallways that some teachers encourage children to work as pairs or in groups on the enrichment. Other teachers have children work independently first and then work as a group. So that, again, is really up to the classroom teacher's discretion. We really just wanted to make sure that every child in our building, grades 1 through 5, had the opportunity to have enrichment and that we were meeting the needs of all children throughout the school year in terms of that high-level math student getting the differentiation that she or he needed.
So I really like how the enrichment opportunities for my class is that they're given enriched work, they're given more challenging work rather than getting more work on top of what they already have to do in class. So I like that Salford Hills gives all the students an opportunity to receive that enrichment in class, and I like that the children can receive it each unit, but also that if they didn't receive it one unit, that they could earn it in another, or receive that enrichment in another unit. So I think the positive for the in-class enrichment in my class is that the students feel a sense of accomplishment. They're excited to share their new knowledge with not only me but their classmates, and they're really engaged in the lessons as I'm teaching each lesson. So I think our discussions in class have been richer and more in-depth, is that the students are really excited to share their new knowledge in the classroom, and I can also ask them to explain their thinking more. So when we're going over problems as a whole group, they're more eager to share and kind of go that extra mile and explain their thinking for some of those problems. So the way I manage differentiation is I use packets in the beginning of the unit, and I spend some time in the beginning of the unit to go over the expectations for each activity at the beginning, and then the students work at their own pace throughout the unit on those activities. So Show Me 3 in my classroom would be that I would circle the 3 most challenging problems on that page. The students would complete those, and then after that they would move on to their enrichment work that they've already gone over with me in the beginning. Okay, Adeline, so here's what you're going to do today. I'm going to circle the 3 hardest problems, and then when you finish, you're going to go on to your enrichment packet, okay? Okay, there you go.
So there are a lot of really positive parts to students being engaged in the enrichment that we do in class. One is that they have the opportunity to really stretch their math thinking and grow and learn at an individual pace. They, for example, might test in on a chapter that is specifically algebra or specifically geometry. Other children might test in on multiple chapters across multiple strands of math. And so it's nice for them to be able to see specific strengths in their own math growth and their own math understanding, and then work at that individual pace. I really like that every child has the opportunity for enrichment because there are times that a child may not necessarily qualify for out-of-class enrichment, or perhaps they struggle with math when it's geometry, but in a different strand of math like algebra or computation, they really have a natural strength. So they have that opportunity, even if it's not a year-long opportunity. It may be for discrete chapters along the way or discrete concepts, but that opportunity is open to everybody. A lot of times, for example, computation early in the year in 5th grade, we talk about divisibility shortcuts, and in class we might work on 2s, 3s, 5s, 10s, 9s, but my enrichment group might also work on 4s and 7s and see patterns that other children haven't been exposed to. And so a lot of times they can reference what they've worked on and kind of bring that discussion back. Kids who might have been on the cusp of an enrichment opportunity then have exposure to those ideas. Even if they didn't work on it themselves, they're hearing other children discuss that. In my class, I always pre-screen for each chapter, and children who do well on a few pre-screening questions take a pre-test. If they do well enough on that pre-test, I give them a packet. The whole packet is kept with students so that when they're ready to work on it at any given point in time, they can. A lot of times I might be busy with another group of students, so they always know who each other are. If they need clarification of directions or they've gotten an answer, they want to check in with someone. If I happen to be busy, they can check with each other. Another really helpful part of them keeping the packet is a lot of times from the daily math journal page, they may sit through a shortened version of the instruction or a shortened version of the math page, where I'm just asking them to show me 3 of the hardest problems, that they really get that daily concept, and then they're off and running with their enrichment packet. So they keep it in their binders so they have easy access to work on that. At whatever point of the math time, they're ready to move on to it.
The way math enrichment works in my classroom is, first you get like a 3-question test. The questions are the hardest of the whole unit, and if you get those right, then you get a bigger test, and if you get a fair amount of those right, then you get to do other stuff while the rest of the kids in your class are doing like the regular math, because I already know it. Well, so I get to I still have to listen to the lesson, but then I get to go and do the 3 questions, or what she assigns to do, and then I get to do a little bit of math enrichment. My feelings for math enrichment are, I like to do other things instead of just the normal math program, mostly because I already know it, and it can get a little boring if I already know it.